lost when I feel like nothing. Always feel like I'm running. Both feel we're living worlds apart. It's fucked now, we lost in limbo. Remembering what you said though, and I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. No, 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 you should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here, but it's not by choice, no. Girl, I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw you coming. You were so wild, both know I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed, you know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. Trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be.
Well, hello and good evening. Thank you all so much for joining me. Let me know you guys can hear me out there if you don't mind. I appreciate it. Thank you all for being here as people start coming in. While you are coming in, I just asked one thing, hit that thumbs up button so we can get more people. It sends the algorithm out so we can get more people in to hear about Summer Wells. And we're going to have a special guest this evening. His name is Trevor. He is a young man who started a foundation at a very early, young age when something deeply impacted his life. And we're going to be talking a lot of different things pertaining to Summer Wells. He has volunteered so much of his time, his money, and his energy. A remarkable young man. I do want to a quick thing this evening. I want to go over a few things. First of all, Josh from the lab, he was going to join us this evening, but unfortunately, he's got the C, and we are wishing him well wishes into feeling better very soon. So please send some good wishes to Josh from the lab to feel better. Second thing is, I didn't know how to disable it. I checked, but I couldn't figure it out. Please do not send any super chats or cash apps this evening. This will be a we're not asking for any super chats or cash apps or anything this evening. If you do want to donate, the mods, ICU and some of the mods will put how you can donate to a particular a foundation that if your heart is so inclined to. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Trevor in just a moment. Again, please make yourself comfortable. We will talk about Summer Wells and all of this and shine the good when there's been obviously quite a bit of negative around here. The only thing we ask is for you in chat to keep it respectful, like you always do. And the mods will, as long as you keep your respectful question There's no problem. We don't have to agree on everything, but you just have to be respectful. That's the only thing we ask. Thank you so much. Without further ado, Trevor. Hey, Trevor.
Hello.
How are you doing this evening?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So, Trevor, I need to get my questions pulled up here. I apologize, I'm not prepared. How did tell us about yourself first of all? How about that? Just tell us about who you are and just give us a rundown.
Sure. So I'm a 21-year-old college student here in East Tennessee. I am the founder of a nonprofit that I started in 2020, and I strongly advocate for summer wells.
Very good. Tell us about the foundation, the Gabby Foundation.
Yes. So in October of 2020, a classmate of mine, Gabby Kennedy, and her mom, Christina, were both killed in a tragic double homicide suicide of domestic violence. Her estranged husband came and took both of their lives. So after that, I started the Gabby Foundation, which raises awareness for their memory, community awareness of child abuse and domestic violence, and raises advocacy for new laws on the books regarding child abuse and domestic violence to further protect people in our state and our country.
That's awesome. Now, was Gabby, was she your friend or was she just like a classmate and it kind of deeply affected you?
I had a couple interactions with Gabby, but we weren't friends. But she was one of those people that everybody kind of knew of, was a huge positive light. Everybody knew of her, and she didn't have a bad interaction.
Yeah, yeah. Um, they're saying they're hearing a lot of feedback. Okay. From mine or Trevor's? Okay, Trevor's. Okay. Okay. All right. Um, very good. Now, this so when did you create this foundation?
December of 2020.
Okay. December of 2020. And what is your foundation like? Does it teaching does it teach about domestic violence? Give resources or
We push awareness through statistics and things like that through our community, through mostly through social media, and then we push for legislative advocacy as well.
awesome. Very good. Very good. Um, very good. Okay, let me so how did you get involved with the Summer Wells when Summer Wells went missing?
So Summer Wells, her case is definitely local to me, and when all the news came out, of course, it spread through our community very quickly that night. And just like everyone else, we hoped there'd be a quick resolution. She wandered off, and she was found that night, just got lost in the woods. And of course, as everybody knows, that wasn't the case. So quickly I just felt tugged at my heart to really get involved more. And that's when I put forward my donation and decided I was going to get really involved in the case.
Right. Now, I think did was it WJHL? I get my news stations. Is it WJHL
Yes,
in Tennessee?
WJHL.
There's so many that go look after. They did it. They did a piece on you where you was donating money. I think it was, wasn't it?
Yes, I put forward $2,000 towards the reward fund when it first started.
Okay. Um, very good. And how do you live close? Do you live close to the wells? Did you live
Yes, I live in the same region, same communities as they do.
okay? Okay. Um, and like, let me find it. Did you uh, did you start immediately with the summer wells Sorry, there's a bit of feedback. Like you can hear. I don't know if you're moving or something. It's like making a sound. Um, did you start like helping immediately? Did you had you've done groundwork, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I first put forward the money towards the reward, and then just kind of put feelers out there, both through law enforcement and different people in the community, of how I could help without being a hindrance to the case. Of course, try to balance that out.
Okay, okay. Um, and it was quite a big search effort in the beginning.
Absolutely.
Okay. It was and I remember seeing literally like buses of searchers. And was you searching at that time too, like in the very, very beginning?
So at the very beginning of the case, it was only law enforcement initiated searches. So it would be law enforcement officers or rescue squad agencies that were either local or brought in from out of state. There weren't any volunteer searchers at that time.
That's true. That's right. That's right. Okay. Justin, can you ask Trevor if any of the wells in the area have been searched? And I think he means like water wells.
Um, I'm not sure of specific wells that have been looked at, but any that are on any properties of areas of interest, both any local properties versus areas that the wells may have been at, or definitely were at the wells, I'm meaning the family now, then they would have been looked at, yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, chat. Feel free to ask any questions, and uh, we'll try to ask them for sure. What else do we have? So, what kind of activities did you search in? And how many times have you been out searching for summer? Have you done any other type of ground searches?
Yes, so I've done dozens of searches on public property, public land, a lot near the parks and the different areas where the family was that day. And then I've participated in a private property search along with the Wells private investigators.
Okay. Okay. Um, so so there's been a lot of areas searched, right? And has it just been around the that you're aware of? Has it just been around the house area, the neighborhood area, Ben Hill Road area, or has it been in other locations as well?
So there have been searches. I've personally searched in areas not near the house, areas that near the park and such that we know the Wells were at that day on June 15th. Now, the area near the house has been the most deeply searched. The best way I would describe it is if you look on Google Earth at their house and put your finger down and spiral in a circle on your screen, that's where they did. They started and spread out. So that area was deeply searched. But other areas of interest were definitely searched as well.
Okay. Okay. Uh, yes, Texas EquiSearch. They was there once, correct, Trevor?
Yes.
Once. Okay. Okay. Have you ever been on the Wells property?
I have not been on their property now, but have been, the closest I've been is on Ben Hill Road.
Yeah. Okay. Um, let's see here. Is it true that Hunter's girlfriend said Candace dropped Summer down a well? I have no idea about that.
I've not heard that, but I know there was a lot coming out from Hunter and that camp. I guess you would call it Hunter Alley, maybe Hunter's girlfriend, when this first started.
Okay. Okay. Has Dawn and Candace participated in any searches in the investigation?
Um, they have not participated in any searches with me. I've invited them out to search. I've welcomed them to. I have not got them to come out on any searches. I'm not sure with law enforcement if they have, because as we know, they're also technically suspects in the case. in the criminal matter of it. So I'm not sure if they've searched with them, but I have invited them to search with me, and they have declined.
Okay. Do you know if if they've ever searched like septic tanks on the Wells property or around the area?
On and near the property, I know. I'm not sure how far out that goes, but I know right there, directly where they live in the surrounding properties, all of that was looked into.
Okay. Brown as blue, thank you so much for that super sticker. But we will donate that to the foundation because please, I really do appreciate it normally. But tonight we're not just please I've got it scrolling across the bottom. Please don't send any super chats or anything else because we're doing this. I'm not doing this for it's not a normal live for me. So we're this will not be monetized or anything. So there's that. Um, this girl deserves better. Okay. Did they? Yeah, they've searched probably every square inch on the Wells property, I would say.
Oh, absolutely, multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. Um, let's see. Do they think something happened? Uh, do they think something happened at the horse pond to lead her to her disappearance? Who knows on that one, right? Um, not giving up on summer. Okay. Does the mods have the Trevor's Facebook and then it'll prompt to go to his the Gabby Foundation and all that? Yeah, Trevor's a remarkable man. He's you're what, 21?
Yes, 21. And thank you, I
21
appreciate it.
and started this foundation and has literally went nonstop. And the other day I heard a recording about Don. He was talking to you. Do you know why he was, talking to you like that?
Yes, so I'll kind of lay the groundwork for that because I know when the call came out, not all of that was there. So after Don rejoined social media recently, everybody noticed he got back on Facebook. I reached out and just told him, here are some of the things I've been doing. If you would like to, I would like to work alongside you in finding Summer. All for because my mission from the beginning has been for Summer. There's no other agenda to it. So I was like, if we want to work together, do this, we can. And we had a decent dialogue going for a while. And then there was a night where Don went on to a YouTube stream and just went, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, but made a fool of himself. And I messaged him later that night and asked him, I thought we were going to work on things that were positive for the case and avoid all of that because that's what we had talked about. And he got very upset with me, and that's when that call ensued.
Okay. Yeah, and then has he ever like talked to you or treated you like that before?
No, he has not. But our dialogue has only really gone on mostly since he had got back on social media, so not very long.
Okay. Okay. Um, so since you're a local, Trevor, do you know a lot of the local people? Like, there's been a lot of locals who have, came out since Summer Wells had been missing. Some have made YouTube channels, Facebooks. There's been some quite characters. You know, um, this is a unique thing that that I've never seen anything in true crime with. Usually when someone goes missing, around it, if there's not usually a bunch of YouTube channels that pop up and Facebook profiles that pop up. What I mean, this does that seem strange to you, or I mean, what does the locals think about from what you hear? I'm sure you've talked to a buku amount of people just from searching and talking about summers, putting flyers up. What do the locals say?
Definitely, and I also agree there. I've never seen something like it either. There's so many people that have popped up out of, like you said, onto social media, onto YouTube, and I think honestly, a lot of people popped up when we all noticed that it was a case that was outside the norm. I mean, just as it's described by law enforcement, I think we all noticed the same thing, and a lot of the people that could say they knew Summer or the Wells gravitated to that as well. As far as local opinion, a lot of people really want justice for Summer Wells. They're not a fan of the drama. A lot of the YouTube drama, none of the awareness, but just the flat drama has pushed a lot of locals into not wanting to speak about the case as much. It's kind of pushed them away from the case, which is unfortunate.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, and have you ever met the media manager, Tim Mullins? I think it's his name. Is it Tim Mullins?
Yes. So Tim Mullins and I have spoken over social media before, but I met him in person at the 1 year vigil for Summer Wells.
Okay. Which one was you at?
I was at the horse pond where they had swam at that day.
Got it. I was at the one in closer to the Wells house. The one where at the police station there, Hawkins
Oh, okay.
County.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was actually at the water pond the day that happened, or the day before the 1 year get together
Right.
happened, and I was actually live in my car, and I look over, and there's Tim Mullins, like 3 feet from me, and I pictured him bigger. I knew he was skinny and everything, but he was much more frail than I pictured him.
Right.
For me at least, he just seemed more frail. And then he went down to the water hole, and I don't know if he was putting stuff together and all that, but I don't think anybody has ever heard a missing child and their parents having a media manager. It's why do you think why do you think there would be a media manager? I mean, do you
I
have an
definitely
opinion
agree
on
that
it?
it's. I'm sorry.
Do you have an opinion on it? I mean, if you don't want to answer something, you just tell me. Next question.
Oh no, for sure. I just thought I was interrupting you there, but I honestly think it's odd too. I've followed, not obviously as close as I followed this case, but I've followed cases in the past, both locally, like Evelyn Boswell, and cases that were nationally. And I've never seen anything like it, to have a media manager for a family who is missing their daughter. And it's honestly, it's the idea of it wasn't bad, but the way also it's been carried out has always just left a sour taste in my mind, or in my mouth. Just
Sure.
the way it's all been handled and the way that they've used the media manager has just been weird to me.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely odd. What else do I got here? Let me pull up my questions. What do you think happened to Summer Wells? Do you have a theory that you want to share? If you don't, that's fine too.
I've gone back and forth on my theories. I think that the time gap that has always been discussed about that mid-afternoon to evening when she was reported missing, that 4 hour window, however long, I think whatever happened in there, whether
Yep.
it be an accident, cover up, which is what I would like to think over, outright taking of a life. But I think in that window, whatever happened occurred there, and that's where the answers will lie when they come to the surface.
Yeah. I in my mind, I think this was an accident, whatever happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was intentional. Um, at least I hope not, but there's an echo from me or who? Is there still an echo? Okay. Have you talked to any locals that saw Summer on June 15th?
I have not spoken to anyone that saw her that day. I know that some people have come down and spoken to them, and I know people as well who are involved in different parts of the search that have, but personally I have not spoken to anyone who directly saw her that day.
You don't hear an echo. Okay. Why PIs with TBI FBI involved? Is the PIs still? Do they still have PIs?
Yes. So the PIs were they've been working pro bono for quite some time. As we know, Don lost his job, and things have happened since Summer went missing, and all of that. But they've now been working for free, and as far as I know, they're still on the case to whatever degree that they've been on.
Right. What hold on. Sorry, I was trying to pull up a video here so we can play in a second. So they still are on the case. Oh, how does he feel? Do you know if Don and Candace still have any rights to the kids? Like, do you know if anything of that still?
They seem to at least believe they do. I spoke to Don before his big blow up. He told me that he's focused on getting the boys back. He's trying to make some money to get an attorney. He doesn't like the court appointed attorney, so he's looking to get an attorney to get the boys back. So as of right now, I don't think their rights have been terminated.
So their rights have not been terminated. Okay, that you're aware of, at least. Okay. When did Don get out of jail? Do you know? When was it?
Halloween, or the day before Halloween, so October 30th, I guess.
Of course.
Yeah, it played out like a movie, like the whole thing has.
About this case, nothing. There's nothing that can be normal about this case. I'm behind on questions, guys. I apologize. Did they do searches? And their thoughts. Can you talk any more about the searches that you've done? Like, can you tell us like what a typical, how they work? How is there a group of people? Do you have any training for that? Have you taken any classes or anything like that?
So the public property searches I do are usually out on land connected to parks or part of the park system, and those I usually do with just one other person. And I go out and just pick an area usually ahead of time that I'm going to search within a few hours that day, kind of get that area done and mark it off, so I know I'm not doubling back on anything, but I'm not also missing anything. As far as private property searches, which go a little differently because there's more to it, as when I searched with the private investigator, because of course the owner of all the property had to okay the search, and he did, and we met him and talked to him. He was very nice, and he let us back onto his property, and most of the properties there go behind their house and on their property, and then up they shoot up into the mountain, and parts of that area are owned by people. So we went up and actually scaled the mountain to the top, following animal game trails that's what the private investigator team wanted us to do that day.
Okay. Okay. Um, if Don and Candace want $10,000, they have assets they can work sell their house. Yeah, there's a rumor that they're wanting $10,000 for an allegedly an attorney. I don't know, but
He
who
told me
knows?
that, and he has court fines overdue from his DUI.
Of course he does. Of course he does. Um, is he working now? Do you know?
Um, he told me that he can't get any work in the area. People won't hire him. So he went to, I'm not sure where he is right now. I know recently he was somewhere in the country at a hotel, but staying somewhere doing some work. But he told me he was going to Florida to get some work. I'm not sure how that worked out, but that's where he was going to make some money.
Don said last night they aren't even allowed to talk to them. Meaning the kids, is that what you mean? I hear circus music.
Yeah, he said that last night.
Okay. Okay. No cord. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm behind here. Yeah. Nobody was living in that house while, like, Candace wasn't living up in that house while Don was in jail, was she? Not
No,
really.
that property was vacant for quite some time while he was
That's what I thought.
incarcerated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was there in this past June, uh, Candace was coming out of the driveway, and there was, I think, a couple other cars up there, but you could tell like nobody was living there. I mean, the grass and the yard was just a bigger mess than it normally is. We'll just say that.
Definitely.
Um, landscaping isn't their strong suit.
No.
Um, dog, where the dog stopped sniffing. Um, the dog stopped sniffing at the end of the driveway, correct?
Yes, that's
That's alleged. We'll just
as
say
far as I've
alleged.
been told. Yes, that's they got it going down the driveway and it ended near the bottom.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, please remember they have lost 8 children between them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Has he seen law enforcement out? Have you seen any law enforcement out searching, TBI, FBI? Are they doing small searches? Uh, you know,
So they've done. They did their main search when she first went missing, and then they scaled it down. They've come out and done 2 searches since. I think both were publicized.
yes,
They came out when the foliage was back down, was their big thing. They wanted to come out when the fall,
yep,
when all the leaves were down,
I
and they
remember
came
that.
out again. Those were the times that those agencies have come out. Now, Hawkins County detectives have gone out other times and followed up on leads on small areas, but that's the only time that those agencies have come out since the main search.
Hmm. He doesn't look like the court-appointed attorney. Okay. Property owners have. Is there any, like, do you know if like all the neighbors around that area have they all been, pretty open to searching, letting people search their property?
Yes, as far as I know, as far as I've been told, no property owners have put up any fight to having any of their areas searched by, and I will say specifically by law enforcement or search crews. I know there was a time when people, YouTube creators and such, would come up and ask, and they said no. But in law enforcement's case of asking, they've all consented to their properties being searched.
Okay. Okay. Um. Okay. Did you let's if I'm going to play this phone call that Dawn said some not nice things about you the other day, right?
Right.
And then after that, you don't mind if I play it, right?
No, for sure. You can
Okay.
play it.
And then I just want to get your thought after that, and I would like to hear everyone's thoughts in the chat as well. Um, this video came from JLR, Jonathan Lee Riches, so full credit is for him. Just using this under the Fair Use Act for commentary and criticism purposes. Mods, please drop JLR's link into the chat. Here we go.
Yeah, what the fuck's this bullshit you putting on my fucking shit, man?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
It sounds a little low.
Put this on here? Let's see. Where? Yeah, it's from your messages from you.
Hey Trevor, go ahead and mute, please.
Searching where your daughter, the one you gave up on a week into her disappearance. Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking nuts?
I can hear you.
Are you fucking? What through and how much I've searched and all kinds of shit and how the fucking doors I fucking kicked down. You wasn't fucking here when I fucking kicked down these fucking meth heads doors down the fucking road and shit by my fucking self. Wasn't nobody here to fucking help me, bitch.
Hold on, something's not working here.
Like that. You were here. Who the fuck are you?
The person that's been out searching the whole time. That's who I am.
Hey, motherfucker, you think I ain't been fucking...
And as soon as we start talking about getting good things going, then this shit happens on YouTube. What is that?
Man, you don't know what I've been into. You don't know what we've been through and how much I've searched and all kinds of shit and how the fucking doors I fucking kicked down. You wasn't fucking here when I fucking kicked down these fucking meth heads doors down the fucking road and shit by my fucking self.
Yeah, okay, you can hear it for some reason. I don't know why. I'm gonna try another way. I don't understand why you can't hear it right now.
Jonathan Lee Riches invest. Whole time. That's
Yeah, it's too low when you just share it. But anyway, we'll go ahead and talk about it. Sorry about that, Trevor. You guys hear it? It's low, but I jumped to turn my volume up. Could you hear it, Trevor?
I could hear it. It was a little low, but I was able to make out. I was able to hear it.
Okay, well then let me play it. I didn't know you guys could hear it because it sounds like extraordinarily low on my end. Okay, this is to JLR.
On YouTube. What is that?
Man, you don't know what I've been into. You don't know what we've been through and how much I've searched and all kinds of shit and how the fucking doors I fucking kicked down. You wasn't fucking here when I fucking kicked down these fucking meth heads doors down the fucking road and shit by my fucking self. Wasn't nobody here to fucking help me, bitch. Don't you fucking tell me and come off to me like that. You were here. Who the fuck are you?
The person that's been out searching the whole time. That's who I am.
Hey, motherfucker, you think I ain't been fucking searching? Fuck off with that shit, bitch. You don't know what I've been through. Okay. Number one. So don't fucking come off to me like that. Like you're holier than thou or some shit. You can fuck off with that shit.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Okay.
Man, don't even come off to me like that. Man, I've been out there fucking searching when nobody else has. I didn't know if he was putting up with the fucking police. And every fucking thing else, turning my fucking house upside down, throwing me in jail, interrogation, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, they threw you in jail because you committed a crime.
What?
In jail? That's because there was a crime committed. That's what happens.
Yeah, but that was later. In the beginning, though, I was out there searching and all kinds of shit going on. Where the fuck were you?
Out there searching.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, really.
You're gonna fucking tell me, you're gonna fucking text me and tell me I ain't been searching or some shit like that? You can fuck off, nigger. You think I don't fucking love my daughter or some shit, like you're holier than thou or some shit? Don't even fucking come up to me like that, motherfucker. You fucking come out here to my house and I'll show you who the fuck's been searching, motherfucker. I'll fucking run your ass on the ground real fucking quick, bitch. Come out here to my fucking house right now and you fucking talk your shit to my face, motherfucker. You fucking think you're gonna play games with me?
You're searching.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, really.
You're gonna fucking tell me, you're gonna fucking text me and tell me I ain't been searching or some shit like that? You can fuck off, nigger.
So yeah, Trevor has been trying to find Summer. He has.
Okay, and once again, that was courteous for JLR, Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates. Please subscribe to his channel, and the mod will continue to drop that. Wow. First of all, Trevor, I want to say on behalf of all that love and care about Summer Wells, which thousands and thousands and thousands, probably hundreds of thousands, maybe millions, do. Sorry about that. And you're in your early 20s, and sorry, there's a bit of back feed, yeah. And I mean, I can't imagine a father of a missing child, a child that has been missing for a year and a half, when you have done nothing but try to give money, to give time, to give literally blood, sweat, and tears, in hopes to find Summer, searching for Summer Wells while he is in jail. And he talks to you like this. Now, I want to be fair and tell you the whole part. Don Wells did issue an apology, and I was trying to find it. But again, this is, to me, actions speak louder than words. And Trevor's actions has proved itself. He has searched repeatedly. Yes, he was talking to Trevor. He was talking to Trevor there. And he called Trevor some racist words and everything. And, good for you. You didn't lose your cool with him, Trevor, but you stood firm, which is good for you. So would you like to say about that?
Well, thank you. And I was just as shocked as everyone else hearing that that night. I had a feeling he was ready to rant because a couple texts I got prior to that were pretty vulgar, but he kept trying to call me and wanted to speak to me, so I gave him the opportunity to speak, and once he started it just kept going.
So Don Wells, it seems like he'll have this rage, and then as quick as it comes on and as fast and as heated as it comes on, it leaves as well. He'll be like, blah, 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 and then it's like, I'm sorry, sissy,
Right.
5 minutes later. You think he might have been under the influence, or?
I would say so. It was really late, and that just the way he was talking, it sounded like it. And that's what he said that's what a lot of people had said too, is that he was probably under the influence that night.
Yeah. And he had never spoken to you like this before, right?
No.
Okay. Okay. Do you ever speak to Candace?
I have not. She was there. I know she was there. She tried to say something in the background of that call, but I haven't spoken directly to her ever.
Okay. Never directly to her. Okay. Um. Wow. It. How many times has it came out that this man incites racist and just vile things. Now, last night he was on another channel and he was talking. He was saying he had went kind of far with his words.
Definitely.
Definitely, and I was rather shocked. The way he won't put JSB down the road, won't even talk about her. Now, have you ever met Jody Sue?
I have not. No.
Okay, okay. Um, I know. She's well. She doesn't live on Ben Hill Road anymore. So,
Right.
uh, John can afford drugs but can't find a job. Potentially. Uh, what did he say last night? You wanna kind of talk about what he said last night?
Well, I know he got into it with. I didn't watch the whole. The stream that he was on was a few hours, but he was only on for a short amount of time.
Hmm.
I know he got into an argument with a creator that he had formerly been close with.
Yeah.
And then he started speaking with a different creator that was also on the same platform about the boys, and he went into detail about how he's not allowed to speak to them and see them, and they believe that when Candace tried to call, she was under the influence. He said she wasn't, but according to him, they were told that she was, and they're not allowed to have any visitation with the boys right now, or at all. He said he hasn't spoken to them since they were taken.
Yeah, I know that they only maybe visit them allegedly like maybe one or two times at max because they
Yeah, and
said
I,
it was too far,
yeah,
which is a sad excuse in my opinion.
definitely.
Um, Trevor, did anybody ever try to make you sign an NDA?
No,
Did they ever ask you?
no, nobody has.
Okay, okay, just curious. But you hadn't really hung, you never was the type that hung out up at the wells or anything like that. So, I
Right.
mean, you was just exclusively looking for summer and uh, doing that. Trevor, are you the one that put up the reward? Uh, you did put up a reward.
Yes, I put up $2,000 towards the reward when it first kicked off.
Uh-huh. And like the Gabby Foundation, which you started, is that what kind of further got you into where you're at now?
Absolutely, I think one definitely led to the other. Obviously, the foundation came about a year and about um, half a year or so before Summer went missing. So I had that time where I was focusing on that, and then when Summer's case came up, it kind of just pushed me to further my efforts to be a positive advocate for people that don't have a voice or that were taken, their voices were taken from them.
Do you have any future aspirations in uh, any dreams, any goals that you would like to talk about?
Honestly, I've dreamt of a lot. I want part of me has wanted to work in high level law enforcement that would be called into cases like these. I've wanted to have a role in politics and in the Congress side where I can help enact change. But wherever I can really make an impact is where I want to be.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. You're young and do it. And there's a saying: if they don't give you a seat at the table, uh, then pull up a folding chair. And
Absolutely.
what is Shirley Chisholm is her name. Shirley Chisholm. She let's see here. it seems like that really took an impact on your life. And this is East Tennessee. Drugs I live in Appalachia, right? Um, drugs is a very it's like the local economy,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
It just is. And there is quite a bit of that in East Tennessee. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people, East Tennessee. Um, and the trafficking is bad in that area as well.
Very bad. Yes,
And I'm sure law enforcement, TBI, all of that has checked that to the nth degree as well. Uh,
definitely.
where the location is right there in Tennessee. It's kind of a prime location with the way the interstate system and all of that works. Yes, Trevor put the first $2,000 up for summer reward fund. And how old were you then?
I turned 21 this past December, so
Okay,
I would have been 20.
you was 20. Okay. Um, do you feel like this is cold now? This case is cold now, and there needs to be any fresh eyes or anything like that.
I feel like it's cold to a degree, but with the amount of awareness that all of us are pushing towards it, it can only get so cold because there are certain cases that nobody talks about anymore. And those cases, I feel like, give the ability for the case to go completely cold. But I think with the way that people push forth her name and keep her name out there and keep pushing for justice, I think while there haven't been any answers, there still is that pursuit of answer. And I know that in my conversations with law enforcement, especially TBI, I have a good relationship with them and I speak to them about the case. And I know that they're working really hard on it. It's definitely taken a toll on their agents that have been assigned to the case
I can
are really,
imagine.
really pushing. I mean, a lot of them have kids, near Summer's age, older, younger, whatever you want to. They
Yeah,
really have put themselves in those shoes and wanted to really find answers to this case no matter what happened.
yeah. I mean, anytime I've ever called the TBI office or anything, they've been exceptionally good, very easy to talk to. Um, and they've always, in my eyes, seemed like they really have never given up on Summer, and particularly in the beginning days, you could look at even Leslie, just talking, you could see the emotion, of they just want to find Summer, and Summer is so loved.
Absolutely.
She feels like she's just like the world's, she's just we're all family to her. You know what I mean?
I think that even went farther with, and obviously we won't get in, but we all know the the way her parents have acted. It almost gives us more of that feeling that we need to take her in as a community, as Summer's Army is take her in and make sure that we've got her back because it seems like some of the people that were supposed to didn't necessarily.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. She, that to be honest with you, in my opinion, she didn't have, which, how many summers are there in this country? A lot. There's a
Right.
lot of summers, that grow up very similar to the way Summer and, the boys did. And there's nothing wrong with not growing up with a lot. It has nothing to do with, I want to be very clear with this because it has nothing to do with being poor or anything. I grew up with not a lot at all. I was, my grandmother raised me. So it was just her and I. It has nothing to do with being poor. It's about loving and caring and, just just care. Just, taking good care of your kids, going to the doctor's appointments, brushing your teeth, teaching them manners, teaching them to properly bathe and all of that. And you
Absolutely.
couldn't expect much because of the way, look at Don and Candace.
Right, and see, I mean, I'm the same in a similar boat. A lot of my childhood, I was raised. My mom, as a single mom, my dad passed away when I was 10. So is my mom, my sister, and I. And so we didn't always have the most, but there was never a day, just like you were saying, that you didn't have that love or that parental guidance by your parents, because that doesn't cost anything.
Yes.
But you could tell when there's an absence of that, whether they have money or not. You can tell when there's an absence of that love and care, and there's just a presence physically, but there's not a presence as a parent.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You can be there physically, but you also, you have to guide the kids. You really have to guide them and mold them to be, you know, a good human being for later. And if the parents are undisciplined, there's not going to be, the kids are naturally going to be undisciplined. And discipline is, it's a positive thing, self-discipline. Uh, so you didn't get much with Candace when, Dawn was at work or anything like that, I'm sure. Um,
Right, and I think that just came down the line too. I mean, we see the way that, to a lesser degree, because we haven't heard from her as much, but Grandis, as we call her, same way. I feel like it just was the generational thing, and it's sad to see, because those kids were the ones that suffered.
right, right. That's exactly right. It's always the kids that suffer, it's always the kids that
I mean,
suffer.
because the Wells, they still have their home, they're still living, they don't have any responsibilities really, but yet the boys are having to start a new life with new families, and
Yes.
who knows what Summer went through, but yet it's always the kids, like you just said, like we were saying, it's just they're the ones that have to brunt the force of their parents' decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the I call it the fallout effect.
Yep.
Um, and I can't imagine being a kid, um and thrown into another home after another home after another home. Um, it has to be scary, and these kids are so brave, and I hope that they are all doing amazing.
Absolutely.
Um, I thought Don Wells was a cousin with Ronnie Lawson. Is that correct? Don isn't related, is he?
No, I think that was unfounded.
Yeah, unfounded. Have you ever met Summer? Or I mean, not Summer. Sorry. Have you ever met Hunter
I
or
have not.
Allie?
Now I do know people. If we go back to very early on in the case, when he was set to be extracted, as they called it, to go to his dad's house when all this first went down. I know the organization that worked with him then, so I've heard a lot of what he's had to say, at least early on, but I've never spoken to him directly.
Yeah, and Stephanie, I agree with that. I don't believe in coincidence when it comes to missing or crime, really, to be honest with you. And there is two people in her family missing that has gone missing within what, 10 years, 10 years apart.
Right. And see, it's like, the way I look at it is, if there were two overdoses in a family, we would say there was probably some kind of drug issue in the family. If there were two violent deaths in a family, we'd say there's some kind of violence issue. So why not? Why does the
Excellent point.
coincidence happen here?
Excellent point. Excellent point. I couldn't agree more. Um, there is clearly, I don't know, none of us knows exactly what goes behind their walls and everything like that. And, but clearly something is off in this family.
Right. And I think if we get such a bad image from what they put out in the public, it should
Can you
kind of give us a
imagine?
clue into what
Yeah.
happened behind closed doors.
Yes. Because Chris McDonough from the interview room, he said this. Oh, you got, let me mute you there. Um, he said this, and I've used this ever since. It's brilliant. You have your public image, your public self, your more like your family, your close ones, uh, the intimate ones around you, that self, and then you have the self that only you know, that nobody knows, not your family, nobody. And Don and Candace, they show themselves, and that is the best of the image that they put out, right? Which is exactly what you heard on the phone call just a little bit ago, exactly what we have heard from them over and over and over again. The way that Don and Candace talk to each other, other human beings, um, the way that they talk to someone who is literally not getting paid. You're not, you've never asked for a penny. In fact, you've given money. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do not. I come on every now and then, like I am today, but I don't have my own
Okay.
channel.
And that goes to even prove it further. Like, you're not just sitting here doing this for money, right? You have a nonprofit. You've given money. You've been a servant, to Summer, and to your foundation and all that. And and this is Dawn and Candace, the way they behave to someone who is doing nothing but helping them. It's mind-blowing to me. So I can't imagine when the phone is off or the camera is off, right? It's and just even particularly before we even knew them, right? Now that the kids are gone and they don't have, they don't have the all the kids and everything in the house. When the world was different for them, like, I can't imagine how it was then. What does he need to keep his efforts going? What can we do to help? What resources needed? Trevor?
Honestly, just keep pushing her name. Help. I mean, it takes us all. I mean, I'm just a small piece of the puzzle when it comes to Summer's entire worldwide army. And if we can all keep pushing her name, her face, her story, we can help find justice for Summer and prevent, hopefully, the next Summer Wells from having a June 15th. As we've talked about, there are going to be so many other Summers in this world, and Summer's brothers, and there's going to be other children like that. And if we can bring awareness to these situations, we can encourage people to step in and stop anything going on before it gets to a point that I think this case has gotten to.
Yeah. Um, do you think we'll ever find Summer?
I think so. I mean, at this point, it would be a sad sight of a recovery, but I think I'd like to hope that we will, and maybe that's just my hopefulness because I keep going out there and putting my backpack on and searching, and maybe we won't. But I like to keep the hope that we will find her,
Right.
because that's our best bet at justice.
Yeah. I mean, me and a couple of my mods and researchers, like we have talked at length over Summer Wells, hours and hours and hours. And I haven't been out searching. I've been to Hawkins County a couple times. We looked around a little bit, but we went there for records and other things. But there was a part of me for a long time. I was like, I don't know how a normal parent deals with this, like not knowing where your kid is, because it drives so many of us nuts not knowing where Summer is, right? And most parents are so broken, and
I agree. I mean, that's always been my confusion, and just what I was always just blowing my mind is how normal they've reacted. Like, I've seen parents that have lost their. I'll give a story of and they won't mind me sharing this. There's a family that I know that had their daughter and their nephew kidnapped, and luckily it was in Tennessee. Luckily, it was resolved. He was found across the country. Some people may know the case by those details, but he lost his job. The father did, because he was traveling state to state handing out flyers because he was frantic about getting the word out about his daughter. He knew that somebody in the family had took her, and they knew who it was, but not where she was. And he was, the only thing that was on his mind was getting those answers out. Nothing else. There wasn't any even second thought of going on a rant online about anything other than her. And it was getting flyers out about her, getting the word out to places that I hadn't heard, and ultimately she was found.
yes.
And it's just like, them not doing that at all has just always blown my mind, how quickly they were able to move on. This wasn't years and years later that they came to terms with it. It was like within a few days, within a week, they just said,
It's on subs only. It shouldn't be on subs only. Is it on subs only? Oh, okay. Here you go. I'll fix it. Do you think Summer is somewhere close by, in your opinion?
I don't think she's on the property.
Right. I don't think she's on the property either. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I thought
do you think she's close?
I do think she's in the area, in the community. I do think that.
Okay. You think, in your opinion, these are just opinions, which there's, your one opinion, I'm one opinion, and there's
Right.
7.5 billion other ones opinions,
Right.
right? So, do you feel like she's ever been moved or anything? I mean, that we don't have any evidence that she's been moved. We don't have any evidence that she's even gone, or she's anything really. You know what I mean? At least from the public, we don't.
Right.
Do you feel like she has been moved ever?
I've gone back and forth on that as well. Early on, Dawn's comment about never finding her kind of led me to believe that wherever she was somewhere that wasn't going to be moved. It was somewhere that was, I guess, somewhere that was with confidence, knowing that she wouldn't be found. But of course, if he wasn't aware of where that was, and that was just a comment he made because he makes comments like that, then I think there's a chance that she has been moved with how much time has passed and when searches died down and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Chris McDonough from the interview room, he asked Don a question one time, and it's never, I'll just never get it out of my head. He said, "What do you think should happen to the person if they harm Summer? Should they go to prison?" And he's like, "I don't know about that, brother. Man, I've been to prison."
Yeah.
And I thought, listen, if that was my kid, electrocute them in prison every day and hang them up by their toenails.
Exactly. That's the.
What the hell do you mean I've been to prison? Well, if you've been to prison and you know what it's like, then you should want that times 1,000 on them.
Yeah, if it's really that bad that you're claiming, you should want that and then some for whoever hurts your daughter.
Absolutely. And that has just never gone out of my head. And that was just weeks after she went missing. Just
That's the
weeks.
thing. These comments came so early after she went missing.
Hmm. Yeah. And I just can't, and he asked it like a couple different ways. I need to go back and listen to that. And I just thought, man, you're like the only parent in the world that would ever say it like that, in my opinion. Like, man, I've been to police. I don't know if I'd wish that on him. Why?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, you should want the absolute worst. I'm sure you've heard, and I know you get this probably all the time, which it's everyone needs to they can voice their opinion, like that. But let me tell you here. I know what happened. You know what they say. I think I know what happened. And
Right. Right.
they tell you. And it's just because people care. People really, really care about this little girl. Yeah, write down everything when we're watching his videos. I need to do that. Um, we've heard anything from, you know, her going to Mexico to being cremated,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if you know this about me, but I used to work at a funeral home, and I'm like, she was not cremated. I can assure you that. Like,
Right.
that's the, or at least she wasn't cremated at a funeral home. I can say that.
Right.
And it takes way too long to cremate someone outside of a funeral home. So, um, you know, there's just a lot of, for them to not be high tech, Don, Candace, and Grandis, and for them to not be so high tech. This is a really baffling case, because it's like everything. There's a problem with everything that you look at in this
Yes.
case, and you just can't get a hook onto something. You know what I mean? It's like everything is just Teflon Don. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's a very frustrating case because of the timeline, and it's was Don there that day? Was he not? Um, and you don't know because there has been so much said about this case that you go into overload. Um, and that was the second thing I was going to say, Glinda. There's so many odd characters in this case. I mean, like, you look at anyone's background on Ben Hill Road, they all could have done it. You know what I mean? It's like, but it's not likely, in
Right.
my opinion. I think, like over 90% of kids that go missing is by the parents or someone who is very close to the parents. And there's just too many, there's just too much wrong with this case. It's so frustrating. Summer knew, and Don said he's seen kids being yeah, that was another concerning thing. Did you ever hear Don say that? He said he's seen uh, bad things happen to kids out when he was in California. Did you
Yeah.
ever hear that?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why didn't you do something? You don't call anybody. You just let people do something bad to these kids.
Well, I guess he fears they would have to go to jail. He's been there. It's a pretty bad
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
thing.
God forbid. God forbid. A criminal have to go to jail, which is kind of what you told him the other day, Trevor. You was like, well, you did a crime. That means you have to go to jail.
Well, yeah, because he tried to lump in them searching his house to him going to jail. He said, I've had to put up with the police flipping my house upside down with whatever they were searching for your child. But then he said, then they threw me in jail. And I said, all right, hold on. That has nothing to do with Summer. You were driving under the influence.
Yeah.
That's why you went to jail.
It's like you've literally told this guy, like you had to talk to him like he's like a 5-year-old.
Well, you know what he told me another time before about his DUI? That he didn't commit his DUI. It wasn't his fault. He wasn't drunk.
Yeah.
There's just no accountability, and that's why things haven't moved, especially from their end. I just feel like there's no accountability for anything.
They don't. They take no ownership, accountability for in regardless of whether they had something or involved in Summer Wells's case, disappearance or whatever. They take no accountability for anything in their life.
And there's no guilt, which is what confuses me. Even if they weren't involved, and I'm not saying you should feel guilty about something you didn't do, but let's be honest, parents that lose their kids and there's no fault of theirs, if they're a good parent, they'll probably feel guilt. What if I had been closer to them? What if I hadn't said that? What if I had been watching them? You're going to feel that guilt. And I just feel like whether they were involved or not, there's never been a moment of them being responsible for anything. Because they don't think they could have done anything. Somebody was going to get her no matter what. They couldn't have done anything.
Yeah. And, I've been on Ben Hill Road, and, it is a one-way in and one-way out. And people's like, well, no, you can go up that hill, up that mountain and everything like that, on a four-wheeler and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. A man took her, ran off the hill, got on the four-wheeler, and you can hear a four-wheeler if anybody knows an ATV.
Yep.
Going all the way up the hill with her, at the end of Ben Hill Road. I'm like, perfect sense. Perfect.
Right. And the other thing, and see, I'm glad you've been out there because I tell people about this a lot, is Beach Creek Road. So, of course, the road that connects off of Ben Hill, it's one lane going each way. There's no pullover lane. There's no breakdown. There's none of that. So if somebody had been pulled off on that road, which is what Don thinks, because they went down the dog trail, according to him, somebody who had just been parked in that main road lane long enough to go up there, get her, and bring her back down, and yet no cars came by. He wasn't blocking anyone. Nobody noticed. Like, just doesn't add up.
Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
And you can't see the house from anywhere. How would you know? How would you know, one, that there's the house up there, or that there's anybody that lives up there? Second, that there's a kid up there that you could take. Third, that she's going to be at that basement door exactly when you get up there.
Mm-hmm. And also, kids left there all day alone. And then when adults do show up, and Summer does show up within a small amount of time, that is when the person kidnaps, allegedly takes the person, is whenever adults are actually home. Right? That's
Right.
The kids, the boys were there supposedly all day by themselves, right?
Exactly.
So, if a kidnapper wanted to kidnap someone, you
probably don't wait till 2 of the 3 adults are back.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, I was born at night, but not last night.
Right.
And like I said, I personally think whatever happened, it was an accident. But with a lot of crime, a lot of times it's the cover up that makes the crime. It's not so much the crime. If there was an accident and they would have just called for whatever reason, oh my God, this happened. Oh my, they would have not been in probably near as much trouble as
absolutely.
If,
and then
if something happens and it is proven that they did something. allegedly.
Right. And then you wonder if there was something being covered up. And I don't want to, speculate on those things. Those are
Sure.
terrible. But any kind of, sexual essay, whatever you want to get into,
Sure.
those things being covered up could have been the reason, could have been the difference between calling for help and covering up. Not saying that happened. I have no
Sure.
reason to say that. But those kind of things could lead to a cover up as well. And that could also lead to why there was the choice to cover it up and not call for help.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but two kids, two people don't go missing in a family. I, it just
And just
doesn't
vanish.
happen.
Both of them have vanished without a trace. Rose's case is the same way, where they look back and say, we don't have a clue on who has her, where she is, what happened. Same with Summer. It'd be
Yeah.
one thing if Rose was, something happened and it was
Found.
clear what happened. There's been
Yes.
no, if she she took her life, she ran away and something happened like that, and they found her and they knew that's what happened. Then you could say it's not as much coincidence. But two people just vanishing in thin air in the same family
Nope. It
doesn't
don't
happen that way.
happen. Yeah. It don't happen. Um, is there anything else, Trevor, you want to talk about?
I think that's about it. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, well, I would like for you to come back on sometimes and uh, talk more in depth about this case. Go over, like, if you're up for it, timelines and all of that. It would be like me me and ICU and a couple of my mods. Like, we've literally had the whiteboard out, with
You and me
this.
both. I have my notebooks right here where
Yeah.
since the beginning of the case, I've just dug in, written down, gone through. I mean, it's the same way. Like, there's not a ton of things that I know too much about, but this case, I could, back of my
Yes.
hand with just how much I've dug into it. So I would absolutely come back on and love to do that.
Awesome. Well, you are an inspiration, Trevor. You really are. And, we need more 21-year-olds like you in the world. Keep it up. Don't ever stop. Fight for justice and fight for good. Whatever you uh, just don't quit. Don't quit. And thank you for being there for Summer. This is Trevor, and they have been dropping your link in the chat all evening. You can donate to the Gabby Foundation as well, and we appreciate you so much.
Well, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on and doing this and highlighting these things, and appreciate everybody that's been in the chat. I've been reading a lot of people have been super kind on this. I just hope that everybody can keep pushing towards our main goal, which is our only goal, which is justice for Summer. We see a lot of distractions, and they're going to keep coming, and they're not going to stop. But we have to keep our head pointing the right direction. And I know you and I and your mods, and we've talked about this. It's the end goal and the one goal. So I hope everybody
That's it.
can keep that in mind.
That's right. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you, Trevor.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye. Guys, that is Trevor there, inspiring young man. We'll have him back on. There is a lot of distraction going on with the Summer Wells case, and the reason is because Don and Candace are back. They're back here on on social media. So, when that happens, it kind of goes he really is, I see you. He really is. It kind of goes haywire, right? So, I will see you guys sometimes tomorrow, most likely tomorrow morning, and we will be talking about something. Most likely the Idaho 4, or some things that I've got that upcoming things that I'm working on as well. So, without further ado, I appreciate each and every one of you. Please hit that thumbs up. The distraction is caused by the YouTubers. A lot of it is. You're absolutely right. It is. And honestly, I think the best thing we can do now as YouTubers is push put pressure on the police, any law enforcement, and to make sure that they are, keeping a laser focus on Summer and hoping to find her sooner rather than later, finding answers. And that's really the only thing we can do as YouTubers, and just to keep her name out, but hopefully not with all the craziness. We don't need the craziness. Have made their missing daughter. You're right. You're exactly right. So, yeah, guys, please get those likes up. I would really appreciate it. As YouTubers, clearly, I don't think any, YouTubers are going to find Summer or anything like that. But, this is a really, really difficult case. And I just hope that law enforcement and I really believe the TBI have been working diligently. Again, maybe we don't see exactly all that they're doing, but I do believe that they're working hard to find Summer. And now, and also, if Don and Candace don't have rights to the kids, things may change. Things may change in the future as well. So thank you, Debbie. Oh, I have been up since 5 a.m. It has been a long couple days. I appreciate you, though. We'll bring him on and talk more. The precious baby girl needs to be found so she can rest in peace. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Summer, this is the thing. It doesn't matter whether I agree with any YouTuber on any other thing. I believe most of everyone wants Summer to be home. Or wants answers found for Summer. I've heard people say, they don't want Summer found because of money and all that stuff. And I can't, literally, I believe everyone at heart wants Summer found, maybe except for the person or persons who did it. Maybe not, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Just pray. All right. God bless each and every one of you guys. Hit that thumbs up. Hit it. Love you all. Good night. Get you some rest, Miss D Dawn. You've been up all night. God bless you. Good night. I will see y'all later. Where's my thing?
Lost when I feel like nothing. Always feel like I'm running. Both feel we're living worlds apart. It's fucked now, we lost in limbo. Remembering what you said though, and I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. No, 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 no. You should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh no, no, no. Oh please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here but it's I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw it coming. You were so wild, both know I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed. You know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. I